This is the first of Brian and Sherry connect and chat. We chat about mental health stuff. And
Mhm. We do.
thanks, thank you. Thank you for being here. Brian and I, at the beginning of March, got to do something very unique, spearheaded by Brian. We met in Kingston for the very first time,
Mhm.
and you're a tall man.
Thank
I
you. I try.
didn't realize. I'm like, oh, hi, I've only seen you virtually. Um, Well, we got to support your friend, colleague, Steve,
Yes.
who, what's his role again?
He is the executive director at Living Spoonful, which is a nonprofit in Kingston based around food security, food insecurity, farmers markets, promoting local, promoting, eat local, things like that.
Beautiful.
And Steve and I have been friends for over 20 years. I work with him in nonprofits down here. And then I was lucky I got to do training with all his nonprofits here in Southern Ontario, when he worked here. And then when he moved to Kingston, he asked about getting his new staff trained. And I thought, okay, what a perfect opportunity to do some in-person work together, because we hadn't done anything to that point yet, aside from stare at each other on opposite sides of the screen.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah. We
wonderful.
met at we were on a panel or something at one point.
Yes, that's right. Panel for
Yeah.
this for the municipality of Chatham Kent.
Yeah. Which I thought was just delightful. So it was really cool to meet you, a Brian from Chatham, because I, of course, married a Brian from Chatham. And so it's
You did.
confusing, but it's very clear. Um, so yeah, we got to meet and we got to do 2 days. And one day was mental health first aid, which rarely do I get to co-facilitate. And I thought that was so very interesting and cool to and easy. Like I was saying at the beginning of this meeting, I was like, it was so easy.
It
You would,
was.
it was just like talk, and then you're like this, and then and it was so enjoyable, delicious. I was going to say delicious.
Well,
So
because I mean, you bring different viewpoints to things,
yeah,
right? I mean, we have certain shared experiences, obviously, being in
yeah,
this sort of public safety world, but we obviously have very different experiences. And, between the two of us, we were able to bring those out, play off each other, reinforce each other. I think I'd never done co-facilitating with it either, and I thought it was a blast as well. I loved it. I think it's a great. I mean, in-person training is fantastic because you
yeah,
get that immediate feedback that you just don't get over a screen. But then to be able to facilitate with somebody who you just click with was great.
yeah, yeah. I call it the juice. When you're with people and you kind of get the sense of them having these aha moments and these connecting experiences, and it was cool too. Like if someone needed a little more checking in, it was nice that we each
Yeah.
got, like that was pretty cool too. Um, So that first day I thought was fantastic. So a full day of mental health first aid, and then the second day, your brainchild.
Yeah, we just kind of winged it the second day.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, for the second day, what we basically did, folks, is we asked the group who we had mental health first aid with, what stuck out to you, at the beginning of the second day. So we said, we have some materials, we have some slides, but what did we miss yesterday, or what do you want to talk more about? So that's how we ended up with our agenda for the second day, was based on the group itself. So they did sticky notes and they did sort of hands up, and then 10 minutes later we were off and running with an agenda for the day that they created on the fly. So
Yeah.
I think that was a fantastic way to do it.
Yeah, I thought that was uh it was really enjoyable, and there was a little bit of electricity. People were because I was worried, were people actually going to write stuff on the sticky notes? And so, we gave them to the first break to just sort of think about it, and we planted a few seeds of thought. And it was, I was pretty impressed with the number of sticky notes. I wonder if we can post this to the picture I have of all the sticky notes. I'll see if we can
You
do
can
that.
add that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Now, I mean, what was nice was as different as they we were able to lump them into sort of broader categories, which was
Yeah.
nice too,
Yeah.
right? And some of it went back to material we did the day before. Some of it was about things that we knew we wanted to address and they beat us to it. For example, communication skills, leadership skills, soft skills, burnout, compassion fatigue. What do all those things look like? And I guess we did a pretty good job because I think Steve emailed you that one of his managers came to him, the following Monday when they had their in-house team meeting about some of the same things and said, I realize now after listening to Brian and Sherry that I'm dealing with burnout and I need some time away.
Right. And everybody
So
was like, yep, no problem. Like
yes,
they just knew they can talk about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that group was very easy to work with too. They were all nonprofit. They were all helping people, which makes things easy. But I don't see any reason, like we've just been talking about, why we couldn't offer that same concept to the world of construction or first response or engineering, like you said, or medical personnel, whatever the case may be, because every group will have something different. And I
Yeah.
think as long as we can address the basics, it's amazing we can offer that.
I think so too. There's a lot more investment when people are, knowing that their challenges are going to be hit head on. And yeah, I thought that was brilliant. So this is the beginning of something where we're just, starting to tease out this mental health first aid, a bespoke half day or one day, which is led by the participants, and we bring in as many tools and knowledge that we have so that they can leave with added tools in their toolkit. And I think I know, I would have loved that if I were, working at a place
Absolutely.
and I got the opportunity to do that. And I do love it when people are just like, oh, yeah, it was great. I learned so much, or they connected with the people that were in the room, which was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what? It's great to be able to go up with a pre-planned presentation and say, okay, here's mental health first aid. But there's so much to be said for a agenda and a curriculum, I guess, for lack of a better word, that you have a hand in steering
yeah,
as the people who are going to be sitting there for the next 8 hours. I can't recall any training to mind that I've ever been at that was anything like that. So again, to be able to offer that is pretty amazing. And you're right. I think it is a start of an amazing concept that we can run with.
yeah.
Who
I
wouldn't
think so
who
too.
wouldn't want that?
Oh yeah, yeah. So we're spreading the word. We're pulling it out there. Yeah, I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you were here. I think
Oh, I appreciate you too, share always.
let me stop recording, and then we
Okay,
can, swear.
sure.